Hi, YouTube. Hi, welcome on in. Hey, by the time you see this, I hope, episode 1 is up. I hope. Editors, are you okay? I hope that the episode 1 hasn't completely giving you an existential crisis the way that it has for us for the past couple of weeks. Guys, thank you so much, Blitz. I appreciate that. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. My heart's been a little broken with the series a little bit, with the copyright system specifically, not this show. Just because the copyright system tends to be extremely rough with it, where it seems to let a lot of other content creators that don't stop as much, that don't do whatever, get away with it, putting it up. But with us, we've been fighting it day in, day out. And it's been like the editors are fighting like nonstop to try and get this up. It's broken my heart a little bit because I know that like every day that you miss is a day less of like steam or popularity or more people that you can bring into this amazing community that's there. But nonetheless, hey, we're going to put it up as soon as we can. But the real purpose of this is there's a lot of stigma against the anime. And this is just me being very straight up and being very upfront with you guys. The amount of stigma that I recently heard at a convention against people that enjoy anime was ridiculous. I had to make a speech. I had to talk about this sort of thing in the area where I live. In case you guys don't know, right now I'm acting as a clinical manager, clinical director for an area. I lead a team of therapists, psychologists, case managers, housing specialists, so on and so forth, and trying to make sure that we give the best care possible. I'm not going to go further in depth other than that. But the amount of hate and the amount of everything that came through was ridiculous. The amount of, you know what is ruining our children? It's these video games and these anime. And it's like, wait a minute. I have to counter 30 other like individuals, professionals, I'm going to throw this out there, that are much, much older, that genuinely believe that anime is making you slow. The anime is causing you, and video games are causing you to be on the spectrum. They believe that there's a strong correlation between these things and that. And it's like, wait a minute, no. Because correlation does not equal causation. And we have to go back into this. And we have to start discussing that actually shows like this are what allow us to fully express ourselves. Shows like this are what allow us to go ahead and have a mirror and reflect on things. And because of the semblance that back in the day, there's no media that's talking about situations and shows and impacts that like directly reflect some of our situational struggles. We're not growing as individuals. If we're not finding shows and video games and situations out there that genuinely sometimes make us uncomfortable. Not all shows are there just to hold our hands and make you feel good about yourself and be like, oh, that's the husband that I want. No, some shows are out there to be like, damn, that fucking made me uncomfortable. And you gotta ask yourself why. Why does that make me uncomfortable? Why do I fear dying? Why is this show bringing up an uncomfortability about the aspects of it, Because there are people out there. There are people out there who claim to be professionals. There are people out there who literally, and through this, I'm shifting tones a little bit here because it's going to incorporate into us. There are people out there who claim to be professionals who literally will pog out, who will be like, I'm bringing in my mother to see this really horny whatever, right? But it's only on Patreon, and this is only like a doctor reacts with grandmother watching horny hentai like for Patreon or whatever, right? There are people always out there fighting for attention, fighting for whatever, and trying to go ahead and, of course, benefit from it. If I benefit from it, cool. But I want to benefit from it in an ethical way. I'd like, if there's a way that I can help out the community, and I've always stated this, if there's ever more than enough, it will always go to a donation to somewhere that we can help out. Whether it's a mental health foundation, an autism foundation, whatever we can genuinely find and agree upon for it to go to for extra funds, that's probably where it'll go to. My number one thing, though, has always been being able to go ahead and promote the instances as to why video games are important, why anime is important, why these shows carry meaning in our lives, and why these shows analyzing this type of medium is important for the future. And sometimes it's disheartening. Sometimes it's disparaging. Sometimes I hear people try and compare me to other therapists. And I'm not talking about Brady. I'm talking about literally other therapists and anime people out there and try and be like, they came first. And it's like, you look at the dates, it's like, no, they didn't. Like, if you take a look at like who's the OG anime, I guess, reactor, or people that comes in here and analyzes stuff and is able to go ahead and like take things apart and for hours and hours and hours on end, and has literally suffered the tribulations of people coming up and being like, every hate in the word out there, like literally every hate out there, you could probably find me in there. From being hacked, from being called names, from doing 101,000 different things. Like, we've gone through one hell of a journey, and we've laid a landscape for other people to be able to come through, you know? And that's my number one thing. I always want to highlight, this stream is about positivity. This stream is about making sure that, like, if you're going through a tough time, you have a community. You have people here that, like, you know, we literally, we're silly. Don't get me wrong. We're silly from time to time, but we have a community that can act as a support network for those that need it. We're not a replacement for mental health, you know, experts. I want to go ahead and say that. We are not a replacement for any mental health experts in your environment, but what we are is a supportive network that if you do need it, we are here for you. And I always highlight that because there seems to be some people that think, oh, he just wants you for his therapy business or psychology business. It's like, no, I don't. I never get people from on here for my own business and so on and so forth. What's good, in my opinion, anime whack, video games whack, you do you. So Twitch whack? Because that's sort of what Twitch is, brother. What are you doing on here? We're all crazy people just trying to do by friends with each other. Yeah. I have a pick for you. Holy shit, hold on. Oh God. Why would you do that, brother? He literally just got me doing as a fucking thumbnail pick. Brother. Masters. But anyway, I hope I didn't I hope that comes off clear, and I hope that like the amount of time that I spent on all of these videos genuinely means something for some of you guys. And like, I'm sorry, but like the way that I think about it, no one spends 4 or 5 hours or 3 hours without them actually like analyzing a show, without them actually being passionate about it. In the shows that we watch, I'm genuinely passionate about. Otherwise, I wouldn't be on here for this fucking long. That's all I gotta say, brother. I got homework. I got more important things to do. I gotta clean my fucking room. Clean your rooms. That's right. Leah, I'm talking to you. Seashell, I'm talking to you. Viperia, I'm talking to you. All of you guys, I'm talking to you guys. Clean your rooms. Clean your desk. You know, be open to one another. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, and the passion you have, I think, come across. Oh, thank you, Leah. I appreciate you. You're wonderful. I am not messy. Viperia, clean your room. Clean your room, Viperia. Did you guys shower today? Hygiene is important. I'm so clean, though. Are you trying to convince me, or are you trying to convince yourself, you know? Clean your... I've always said this, Seashell. I'm always talking about hygiene and cleaning your rooms and whatnot since way back in the Tiabu days, like when Tiabu and I were here. Clean your room, chat. Literally pick one thing up off the floor. You know, for example, I got a tissue here, not a cum tissue, just a tissue, and throw it away. Cochinos mal pensados. When I instantly picked it up, I was like, clean your toilets, clean your rooms, ladies and gentlemen. I showered and washed my hair today. Viperia, I'm so proud of you. You're amazing. You're amazing. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Let's go. Yeah, this whole pretending. I know we stopped real quick. Hot tub stream. That'll be in the future. I'll do a hot tub stream. I'll even wear a bikini later on. But this whole pretending to negotiate stuff or even just talk, it always freaks me out. In case you guys don't know, I practiced martial arts for the past 20 something years, 25 years now. Yeah. I've been doing martial arts for the past 25 years. I don't know what they said, but I'm kind of curious. Hold on. Booba. So you're a kid. Yeah, so I've done martial arts for the past 25 years. One of the things that always comes into mind is whenever you're fighting someone, what is a key giveaway that something is being prepped? What is the key giveaway that something has happened? Anyone know? That they're planning something, that something's going on. Say that you just step into the ring with someone. Aside from feet, which I will say, if me, I can't see shit, right? But like, you know, for hold on. I hope that Leah and them are gone. Hey yo. No, for free? Yes, Viperia. Here you go, for free. You get free feetsies here. You know, if they won't shut up, I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. If someone comes into a ring and the first thing they do before, wow, so flexible. I know. I used to be able to go ahead and put it behind my head. But that was when I was doing more stretches, especially for high kicking. Nowadays I do a bunch of power kicks just because I'm getting older, so I can't really flex as much. But anyway, the key being, when it comes to a situation like this, when someone starts talking, I usually call it is talking your nerves away, right? Plotting something. If he keeps talking, all of a sudden it's harder for you to know. If I'm moving my hands while talking, this is a very common thing, right? For the remainder, no worries, Lena. If I'm say that I'm over here, I'm talking, I'm whatever. Is it easier for you to notice when I'm gonna punch you? Or is it harder for you to know when that punch is coming than if I'm just completely like this and I raise up my hand and I go for it, right? What is easier for your brain to notice that something's coming? If I'm talking with my hands and I'm constantly moving and I'm like doing whatever, what is easier for your brain to register? Me talking like this, or all of a sudden me just coming through and going like that? You're more than likely going to go ahead and register me just suddenly swinging than me talking like this, right? When we talk, it's because we're usually nervous, we're usually plotting something, and because there's movement, your brain is registering this form of talking as normal when it really isn't. Here's the thing. I'm looking at this and I'm like immediately thinking he's more than likely already plotting something. He's already planned something for Frieren. The way that he's communicating this, because he doesn't need to talk, but yet he talks, and a lot of us do, because we try and dig our way around. You get in trouble. Your parents get you in trouble. How many of you try and talk your way out of it? How many of you try and logically talk your way out of it? I know I do. I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. If I fuck up, I like, sounds good, Leah. No worries, appreciate you. I know I do. I'm trying to use talk no jutsu, trying to do the 1,000 years of death on my own asshole here to try and come up with some way of like reasoning my way out of a fucking situation, even though I know I'm in the wrong, right? Even though I know that they know that I'm in the wrong, like I try and find my way to like find the conclusion, a safe conclusion. Until all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you know what? I fucked up. There's a perfectly reasonable explanation. Give me a few minutes and I will say it. So, what you're saying is you could take Frieren. No, what I'm saying here is when it comes to a situation like this, a lot of us instantly start talking because of nerves. A lot of us start, madre, cuando llego los platos ya estaban rotos. Lugo, no. A lot of us try and talk our way out of situations or try and plan something. What I'm thinking is he's already trying to kill Frieren in some way, shape, or form by talking like this. And it's a way that we can't see at the moment, right? Might be air no jutsu, might be fart no jutsu, a gas jutsu, might be a fucking, I don't know, piano wire, garrote wire. It might be like Sharingan or something, There's a reason why this is happening. And I think Frieren already knows about it. And Frieren's already like taking steps against it because she's not taking this bullshit, She's not taking this bullshit. Through this comes in my next perspective. Is she going to have to flee this town? That's where my next thing comes in. Anyway. With this one trick, it'll help you grow. Why do I feel like she's just gonna fucking rip it off? Like, that's all you had, bruh? Like, really? Like, you're just gonna leave me hanging here? like, like she's just like done with this bullshit. Like, really, this is your grand trick, brother? Like, you're just gonna hang me up like a piñata here? Frieren piñata, just like wee. Frieren is too light. Yeah, it's way too light, brother. No foreplay. Oh. He's trying so hard. But you've already turned your back against her, so what if she just uses magic against you as well? Brother. 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 You're already dead. Dude. He has main character armor without the plot armor. Dude, straight up. He ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. Oh, he thinks he's Shadow. Well, my main thing through this is this show is one of the few shows that like I can talk for hours about the different reasonings and aspects through this. I have a feeling that you're not even going to be a page, maybe a page. No, not even a page. If we were to compile Frieren's life into one giant book, you would be maybe a sentence. A guy tried to kill me with a string, comma, or semicolon. He died. Period. Why do I feel like Frieren will more than likely get out of this? Probably walk around like da 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 da. The time to get out of this city. It's time to run out of here, right? And more than likely be like called back into action. Because the number one thing that they're setting up here is while they may think that they're powerful, they're not really that strong. And as we've seen, Frieren is one of those individuals that yes, time is changing, but for her, it's only changing minimally. You know. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't even be a sentence. Yeah, probably not. Probably not. That's why I'm like, give me a hand. Just give me a hand. The wire is nearly indestructible. Unfortunately, you are not. Blitz, I love that. Dude, you're amazing. That was a good one. Sin brazo no hay hilo. Now, Frieren, you got to know my safe word. You can't just go straight into choking here. You got to know my safe word, Frieren. It's pineapple. Hey, yo, I wish that was me. Hey. Okay, never mind. I wish that wasn't me. It should have been me. Dude. See, this is what I find interesting. Let's talk about it real quick. We're 2 minutes in. What I find genuinely interesting about this is number one, what is prison time for her? Let's talk about it. If she can live for hundreds of thousands of years or thousands and thousands of years, how much would 2 years be for her in that time span? Probably like 2 minutes, probably like 2 hours, probably like a vacation for her. What would that be for her? About 4? A nap? It's a timeout essentially, if that. So comes in the question, when going through aspects like this, when going through aspects of literally the world changing, and any good like environmental psychologist or organizational psychology will talk about this as well, or just any health and wellness psychologist as well. How many of you guys are afraid of change? Let's pinpoint this and let's go down this list of lines. So you guys find a good reflectionary period. How many of you guys are genuinely afraid of change? Like if your environment changes too quickly, or you're changing, or your friends are changing too quickly, or you're changing too quickly, like you're genuinely afraid of it. I'll be honest, I was for a point of time, for a point of period. I wanted just fucking stability. And like we all seek some form of stability, but change is constantly going and it's constantly happening no matter what. Some people hold themselves up in their rooms, right? Because that's their routine. For them, change is scary. They try to avoid it as much as they can, and they hold themselves up in this little fantasy world that they're building up. And they're like, no, I don't want to graduate. I don't want to do this because some people are like, I don't want to do certain things because then it means responsibilities and things that come for me and changes come happening. But even if you hold yourself up, what happens? I can't cope with extreme change, right? Because change is terrifying. What happens over time? That door that you're using to hold yourself up starts deteriorating. It starts breaking down into little pieces, right? And change, because it's everlasting, it keeps happening because of time, starts seeping in. And you might try and be like, oh, I can cover it up with tape, but the door is breaking further faster than the way that you can put tape on it, and it's breaking faster and faster, and you're holding on to it, and you're like, I don't want this, and boom, everything that you've built around thinking that would stop change from happening has deteriorated away, and you're left there unprepared for the big amount of change that's about to come your way. This is why I bring it up. Have a good night, Coffee. Appreciate you. Change is inevitable. Change happens. Change, good or bad, is constantly happening. For Frieren, though, for us, change happens like this at times because our experience of life and lifetimes and whatever is like, whoa. For Frieren, change might happen once in a millennia. For Frieren, she's looking at everything, and for what us might seem like hours, for her, it might be minutes, might be seconds, if that. What would sudden change do to her? Let's conceptualize this for a second. What would sudden realization and change, as the way that she's been growing is sudden and big, do to her? I'm going to be honest with you. I have a feeling that at the end of wherever the series might go, we might see her actually express her emotions. And for some people, that might be like, that's not change. For most, I would say absolutely. Himmel's death was sudden for her. It was a sudden realization of the concept of time and mortality, absolutely. But I have a feeling we're going to see a more humane or human-like Frieren by the end of this. A Frieren that isn't afraid of, of truly conceptualizing or being open and vulnerable, maybe with some people. I'm not going to say everyone because that's impossible. Connecting, yeah, forming connections. Because if I were to ask you this, and this is still referring to this, guys, how many of you guys, number-wise, how many of you guys would consider, like, or how many IRL friends do you actually have? Legitimately speaking. How many IRL friends do you actually have right now? People that you can genuinely connect with. And I don't just mean acquaintances like, oh, bro, we just play video games. No. I mean real friends that know you on a fundamental level. 1, 3, 5, 4, 1 maybe. Like 6, 4, 20 lolly police. Welcome on in. 3 to 4 maybe. 2, maybe 3. I can't say 5-ish. I want you guys to think back. What made you genuinely connect with them? Like, what is something that genuinely made you form this connection with these individuals? What allowed you to truly connect with them in that sense of place? Was it the fact that you guys went to high school together or whatnot? 0 since I started working. Past trauma. Some of us connect through trauma. Time. Sure. What made you genuinely connect? I'll be honest. I have like where I met like genuinely 3 or 4 IRL friends, And this is including Brady, you know. But like, I genuinely have 3 to 4 IRL friends at the moment, right? I have a lot like on Discord. I have all of you guys, which I appreciate. I love the living heck out of you. I have a lot of theater friends, but I call them more acquaintances now because some stuff happened. I have a lot of friends from abroad, but like, you know, genuinely being there and making that friendship, it's rough. As you grow older, that friendship cycle tends to come down. I also want to ask you guys one thing. Mods, can you throw up this poll, because this is going to make up another one. How many of you guys had a hard time making friendships, genuine friendships, as kids, as teenagers, as everything? Running out of time to maintain them? Absolutely, 420 police. It becomes a lot more difficult to maintain those friendships as you grow older. Mods, can you throw that up, please? I'm going to go ahead and probably blow your minds a little bit. Or not even blow your minds, but maybe even highlight some aspects of it. As kids, making friends felt easier. It got harder as I aged. Did you have a hard time making friendships as kids, ladies and gentlemen? Be truthful with yourself. This is anonymous. This is for you guys to genuinely, be honest and be as truthful as you can be. Did you have a hard time making genuine friendships? I don't just mean acquaintances or people that would come over and play video games, but genuine friendships with others. Not in making, but definitely as maintaining them. Easy to make them, harder to maintain. Hold them. Okay. Some people are saying yes, no. Okay. Now, as we go through this, but I intended to get overly attached to one or two people. No. Have a weird feeling. I feel that I find it hard to find good friends when you're out of school. But period, I'll be your friend, though. I'm like, I'll be your friend. Oh no, it's yours. 555 to 45. It's a bit hard to. It is a bit hard to maintain. I'm not gonna lie. It becomes harder and harder because work and whatnot. Now, mods, you can go ahead and end this poll and put up a new one, which is how many of you guys had more than 5 friends from like genuine friendships? Again, genuine friendships before from elementary school through high school as kids. How many of you guys had 5 genuine friendships, people that knew you deep down to your core? More than that, more than 5. Please throw that up. We're getting into something deep. Be honest with yourselves. Be open. This is completely anonymous, and this is why we're bringing this up, right? More than 5 genuine friends, ladies and gentlemen. How many of you guys had more than 5 genuine friendships? Moving a few times did not help? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Moving can be a displacement and can cause trauma. And that's just me being honest. More than 5 in college for me. Otherwise, it was mostly 2 to 5. I used to get too attached to people and scared people would run away now. So with this, what I'm bringing up is, and this will all relate to Frieren, I promise, just follow me on this train of thought. This next one that I'm going to ask you guys, and this isn't a poll, this is just for you guys in general. How many of you guys are afraid of disappointing your friends? Like in some way, shape, or form that you guys will truly and genuinely disappoint your friends or like some loved ones or whatnot by what you do or what you say or your actions or whatnot. I know that that's a genuine fear for some people, and that's why they reference certain things or they shift their positions or whatnot, right? How many of you is that like, or just people in general, not even friends, but just people in general? How many of you guys have that genuine fear of, fuck, I'm gonna disappoint you? I have a lot of pressure on me. I'm gonna disappoint my friends, my loved ones. All these expectations on me are too much. If that speaks to you, it's not a poll, School Kong. This one's not a poll. This one's just an open conversation. Not really. For some people are saying not really. That fear destroyed my personal boundaries. Yeah. I'm a people pleaser. Yeah. Hold on. I just have a hard time contemplating the fact that after college, there's not many places to find a lot of groups of friends. Yeah, to find good is running out. Why is that? As much as I hate retail, I don't even like disappointing strangers. I feel bad. By period, did you get a job recently? I think you did, right? Congratulations, by the way. But also, I don't even like disappointing strangers. Oh, Viperia. Sometimes I have that kind of fear. I don't maintain the contact well enough. The reason why I'm highlighting all of this, and the reason why I'm talking about this, I did, thanks. Well, good job, good on you, man. That's amazing. The reason why I'm highlighting all of these different factors is how many of you guys have been tested for being on the spectrum? Just done a RADSAR test for yourself or for others. How many of you have been surprised by those results? The reason why I highlight this, right, done it recently as part of the server, of course, because we tend to go ahead and bring up aspects of this. Number one, you having autistic traits does not mean that you are autistic. I want to go ahead and throw that out there. And also, your diagnosis does not make you you. I want to go ahead and highlight all of this. The diagnosis is not who you are. You are an individual that has certain traits, but it does not make you certain things, right? Being on the spectrum does not make you the spectrum, right? It means that you have traits of it. I want to go ahead and highlight this. A big aspect of certain things is the fear of change, the fear of like displeasing people, the fear of not making genuine friendships or connections, not having a lot of, or not knowing how to react in social situations, so on and so forth. I'm highlighting all of these aspects because for Frieren, imagine this. Who were her genuine friendships, if we were to take this down, that we know of? Like genuine connections that she made. Probably the Heroes Party. Before that, who was a genuine friendship that she made? Probably Flame, the magician, right? If that. We don't know much else about her life. So what do you think it would mean? Yeah, for now, the master in the hero party. What do you think it would mean for her to suddenly start realizing, wait, I'm still the last one left? For Flame, the first one, she might have been younger in her life 1,000 years ago, and she might have been whatever, right? Blah, 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 blah. But now that the heroes party's passed away, what do you think is happening to her psychologically? Like for you, when all of a sudden you were going through life, you were happy in high school and whatnot, you had your group of 5 friends or 4 friends and whatnot, and all you're going through college or university, or you just entered the workforce and you look around and there's only one person left. It's like that time when you're playing, you're in high school and you're playing Call of Duty and when you're with all of your friends in the lobby and you guys are laughing and having a good Saturday night, and now you jump on after work and it says last seen 5 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and it's just you and your last buddy on that Call of Duty server just talking. And even then he's like, hey man, this might be it. I'm moving with my wife or my partner and we're going away. And it's just you. It's just you. When your mom and dad, your grandma and your grandpa, are slowly passing away, and you realize that your siblings are getting older and you're getting older as well, and time is catching up, are you prepared? Are you prepared for what those next steps might be? As you start seeing that, your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa can no longer be as active, be able to do certain things, be as energetic as before, where now they're laughing and they're hurting, and now they have trouble getting up in the mornings, and now they can't even drive, and now they're going through so many things. Thanks so much for the sub, 420. What does that do to you? I'll be honest, it hurts. It hurts me. Seeing my parents age, coming to the realization, Bach, we're here. We're at this point. I'm at this point. What do I do? I thought, it's like you could be my parents at 9 and 25. And what did that do to you, Gross? Especially at 29 and 25. Big milestones during those years, I'll be honest. I'm looking at it and I'm like, holy shit. Whoa. Life is going by way too quickly. I thought I could enjoy these years a little bit more. I thought I could savor these years a little bit more. Savor the amount of time that we had together, and life is here. Life is showing, and day by day, you're being caught up by work. You're being caught up by school. You're being caught up by homework. You're being caught up by your 9 to 5. You're being caught up every single day by meaningless drama everywhere. And you're not realizing that everyone around you is aging and you're aging, and people are slowly passing away. Are you okay? Are you okay? Or is that making you push yourself to realize, hey, holy shit, I did not need an existential moment right now, Ed. Fuck you. I did not need you to go ahead and like bring this up. It can be a lot, guys. So for Frieren, as we're relating this back to Frieren, imagine her seeing instances where she's feeling growth happens, and like she might just have a rubber band effect, and it comes back and it slaps hard. Viperia, thank you so much for the sub. With the Prime Gaming, I love you. Like, legitimately, you're amazing, dude. Imagine that rubber band, though, for Frieren, where there's this gap. There's this gap developmentally where people are going through everything, right? They're growing old, they're dying, and she's not. She's seeing everything happen the same way that we are to our parents, the same way that we are to our dogs. And all of a sudden, that rubber band comes swinging back and hits, and she might not show it fully, but her body's already running, and her body's running and running and running and running and running and running, and she's like, I have to go and see if heaven exists. I have to go and do certain thing because that rubber band snapped back, and all of a sudden she's like, I have to take this step. Fuck, guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to go ahead and give some of you guys an existential crisis. I just want to go ahead and make this relatable for you guys to try and understand Frieren a little bit as to why she might not show a lot of emotions, but her own body, even subconsciously, is already taking steps to come to this realization and to come to this, oh shit, what the fuck moment, you know? Oh man, this is, sorry. Oh, this shows something else, man. And I gotta mute this fucking intro because copyright system. I don't know the rest. Song by Ed, you're welcome. But no, to use our time more meaningfully. Exactly. I hope that you guys do use your time more meaningfully. Like, and also, like, what do you guys want to get out of the world, right? As this song is playing, I'll ask you guys this question. Like, Viperia, what do you want to get out of streaming? Like, why do you stream? For whom do you stream? What does streaming do for you? For you guys, what does talking about these concepts do for you? What do you guys want to get out of life, and where do you guys want to go? You know, Silent Jam, yeah, Silent Jam, guys. Oh man, it makes me feel accomplished. How so? Freedom copyright is crazy as fuck. It is. It really is. Ichu, what about yourself, dude? What do you want to do? Get out of life? Oh, try your best. Like, literally try putting it into words, even if it's a ramble. Throw it on here. That's the whole purpose of it, dude. Throw it the fuck on here. Let me get it. I think I don't have so much time. How so? How so? I have almost done my PhD and I haven't been as aimless. Ichi, what about when that time happens? Yeah, fall in bad sleep. Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to try and make the world a slightly better place by studying engineering. We'll see how that goes. That's amazing, Blitz. That's amazing. But through that, let's put it into this. What happens the moment that you can't, or that you're failing? What happens the moment after you graduate school? What happens the moment that you find a job and this is it? Is this really it? Is this really it? Is you going to work 9 to 5 really it for you? If it is, cool. If it's not, why not? It gives me the drive to 100% my favorite games and follow in the footsteps of my favorite content creators I watched in high school, I guess. To be fair, you're hilarious, Viperian. I fucking, like, yeah. You playing all the games that you play just blows my mind. Also, you have a funny community, so yeah. I thought I was there. Yeah. He's eating a burger. What did I have earlier, chat? Why was I late, chat? I was eating a burger. I swear, This is why I'm getting all the memes you guys put on fucking Discord from now on. Now I have another question, but this one's a dirty question. We're about to hamster. Thanks so much for the follow, man. Appreciate it. Now this is about to turn into, well, two sides, right? Two observations I put in here, which is number one, their communication is getting significantly better between one another, and that's how you can tell that propinquity is starting to take into effect. Which a lot of people, a lot of therapists and psychologists don't even like to touch on propinquity because they don't know a lot about propinquity. But propinquity is the reason why we fall in love, right? They're already starting to talk to one another in a better, more significant, more impactful way. Appreciate it. Second thing, this just reminded of, how do you think in this world, and I guess I'll ask you guys this in a way so that you guys can relate to it. How often do you think bathing is a thing in this world? Oh, thanks so much for following, dude. Appreciate it. Like, genuine question. How often do you think that bathing is a thing? Every 2 to 3 days? Often because of magic? Is it often? Is it a cultural thing? Not really, without running water. I guess it depends on both economy and access and culture. You have to remember, culture is a big thing as well. They showed it a few times during Fringe training. Yeah, but not really how many times a day or a week, right? Probably whenever there's a chance, like bodies of water in the town. Yeah. Next question. How and I guess I'll ask this because this is a much more modern concept, is what about like shaving for guys and girls in that period, right? Do you think that's common or uncommon? Throwing this out there. I'm throwing this out there because we're going to look at this through even a social cultural perspective, right? Social psychology aspect of things. Do you think that's normal for an environment like this? Probably uncommon. A lot of shaved guys. Is that because of the anime, or is that because of like genuinely aspects of the uncommon? Which part of shaving? Ichu. It seems medium because dwarves don't shave. Dwarves don't shave, sure. People would actually clean themselves at home, but bathe once a week. Mm. Mm. Himmel grew a beard. Yeah. I'm sure Stark doesn't even grow whiskers yet. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is oftentimes a lot, like especially in a lot of the shows that we watch, we're seeing medieval times or even before then or whenever the time period is as relatively clean. And this goes for almost any show out there. Would it be if you got isekai to that time period? I'm gonna be honest with you guys, probably not. No running restrooms, right? No running water in the restrooms. If you were even before then, we might all share one giant porta potty, right? Hygiene wasn't necessarily the best, right? If we go back to the 1600s in our time, especially for Shakespeare's play, people would, people in the standing seats, people would piss right where they stood, and probably get you wet along the process and so on and so forth. Hygiene wasn't the best. Beard and we're gonna put it like pubic hygiene and all types of hygiene, because some stuff is natural, some stuff isn't, and we got to put a distinction in certain aspects of like what is okay and what isn't okay. Everyone has different standards. But through this is why I'm bringing it up. The past the past was rough, but people were so used to it, and their nose got used to it as well. This is why I'm bringing it up, because people seem to be like, oh yeah, man, if I was transported to this world, I would survive. And I'm like, realistically, it would fucking suck. It would suck so badly. It would be horrible, dude, because we're living with modern day luxuries that taking all of that away. Okay, congratulations, you just went to the restroom and there's no paper towel. Well, good luck. Think in the future they would look at our absolutely forecast. Absolutely. You know? Or there's no bidet. Or there's no anything. Yeah. Yeah. Now, dude, okay, you didn't have to. Okay, wait a minute, brother. You didn't have to fucking showcase it like, whoa. You could have gotten closer to the table, pulled yourself a little closer to the table there than wetting yourself. But like, even through aspects like that, yeah, it's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying when you meet someone that's stronger than you. I've met some people where even fighting them, like for me, I get a thrill out of fighting, right? Out of sparring. And I know for a lot of the people that I teach, whenever I say I'm going to go at least like 15, 20% in that sparring, or 30, 40%, or even like 50, never go full out unless you're in an actual fight. They tremble, dude. And they, like, it's either in the fight or whatnot. Like, because sometimes you can check their kicks and check their legs, and their legs literally, you might think, oh yeah, kick can't really do that much damage. After one kick to the thigh, like, say that this is a leg, one kick back here, their legs are like, and that's it. That's the end of the fight. Even at 10% fit strength, when you fight a person that's much stronger than you, even recognizing it, say I'm fighting this person again or sparring against them again, all of a sudden, subconsciously, they're automatically moving. They're automatically moving because all of a sudden this is a threat, and it's not just me. It's against other, especially some of the other trainers that have been like fighting in the UFC for a long time now, like that come in to train these individuals. They get in the ring and they're like instantly shaking, and they're like, I'm ready, but their body is like fucking trembling, dude. And I'm just like, make me tap out, dude, please. Like, choke me, please. I like that, cochinos. I just knew what you guys were fucking. No. I don't mean to be stopping every so often, but I need to, because aren't they at the perfect situation here where he can close it in and she can be a sniper, per se, where all he needs to do, even if he's afraid, is act as a decoy and distract for her to be able to launch like magic from the side, right? Or magic from above, or be able to go ahead and do certain things because she's calm, cool, and collected, right? If they're working together, he's able to go ahead and be the perfect decoy in that environment because he will seem like a bunny. That's what they got for him, yeah? Meanwhile, she can just snipe, or do whatever she needs to do with magic and shit. Or even get up close and personal, right? I like how they include small moments like that. Yeah, yeah. Diciendo que podría haber una pelea mientras se seca la... That'd be cool. Oh, oh, dude. He's a cutie. Of course. Privy.
使用人に場所も聞かずに
Sir, I'm gonna have to go ahead and pull out an Uno reverse card on you. The fuck do you mean, brother? Like, I'm glad he has a brain, but like, one guy took out one of your guards with ease. Now you have the big boss and the pink-haired cutie here. You don't think that they can take out everyone?
どこに
Oh, brother. That's nasty, bro. Ugh. Ugh. That blood whip was insane, brother. You let them in too close, man. This is why I will always say, trust your instincts, trust your gut, dude, no matter what, right? Because sometimes we always want proof. And this is a big mistake that we do as humans, as individuals in general. We're like, no, it can't be. Always trust your gut. If you end up being wrong, hey, at least you trusted your gut and you can be like, hey, I'm sorry I had a misconception, but trust your gut. Even psychologically speaking, guess what? When sometimes we feel something is off, we have to trust our gut, even if we don't have all the information. Say that we think that there might be abuse or something happening, we don't have full proof. We have to make a report. We have to make a report out of our suspicions, out of our, and if nothing comes out of it, or out of good faith, of course. If nothing comes out of it, nothing comes out of it. Awesome, right? Like, you're safe, but trust your gut. People rationalize too much, even in situations, say that your partner cheated on you, and like you have a weird gut feeling that they may have cheated on you, but you don't know just yet, or you're like, nah, he would never, and you start rationalizing yourself out of it, or you're like, oh, he did that once, he'll never do it again, and you start seeing some of the same symptoms. It's like, trust your gut, dude. If you feel someone's a bad person, they might be a bad person. Your rationalism can be changed, but your body knows something's up. Yeah. Bruh. He really. Yeah. Damn. And the fight was done. And that's Frieren. Just walking around like, can I get myself some ice cream? Fucking Frieren. Oh, dude, she's amazing. She's fucking amazing. Jeez. I defeated him. I'm leaving town. She dropping some facts. She's just straight up dropping some fucking facts here. Like, why don't you guys do it? Fuck, you guys have been training. You guys are strong as fuck. Just because they're strong, you're not gonna face them. Like, yeah. But sometimes you kind of want someone to help you out along the way, Frieren. You kind of want. I get it. You want them to grow. You want them to have that experience. You might be overseeing them in that effort, but. Wow. Wow. Chiro. Chat, please. I don't want to do this alone. Chiro. Her smile, man. That's so good. That is so good. And I think through this, him asking for help, and even in a like in a joking way, is nice. And it's nice to see that he's open to asking for help, right? We're all afraid of stuff. We're all afraid of something. But facing that fear, maybe being around people that make you comfortable, it makes it all worth it, I think. Her smile, dude. Oh, oh, her smile. Oh, Mama Frieden's gonna be looking after you guys, maybe from the shadows or something. Oh. Oh shit. No, Ed. Ella corta cabezas. ¿A cuál de todas? Chill, deep breaths. Deep breathing, guys. Deep breathing. She loves to behead. Which head? Hold on. Wait a minute. Is that why everyone around her doesn't have a head? Hold on. Wait a minute. She might tell you nice things, but she doesn't mean it. Just like my ex. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh man, that's bruh. Yeah, buddy. What in the Naruto? Poor, poor dude. Holy shit, dude. She can just fly. He's over here, American Ninja Warrioring it, or like the Ninja Warrior series, going through everything, climbing shit. Ah, ah. I think they're adorable together, and I kind of do wonder if through them, Frieren's gonna understand the concept of love. That's where my mind is running to right now. Through their relationship, is she going to understand that the relationship that she shared with Himmel was a relationship closer than just friends, even though she did not realize it at that time? Because seeing them connect and maybe slowly start to fall in love and go through that process, it might bring something out in her where she realizes that maybe Himmel saw her in a different light. And she was just going along with it because it made her laugh or whatnot, and didn't realize how much of herself she was truly vulnerable to them. Because sometimes that's how we are with people, dude. We're very vulnerable with people. We don't realize how vulnerable we are until we start reflecting on it, you know? You had kids together? Oof. Oof. You do I don't think he realizes. The guy that he just quoted died because he developed ways to counter that. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. You guys might spend a long time researching that magic, but is it good enough? Is it Frieren good
一つ
enough?
の魔法の研究
Yeah. Damn. Oh no, it was unintended, wasn't it? Dude, Flame is the mommy I fucking want in my life, brother. Like, it just. She's dead, Ed. So we can't all dream, Ladits. I have a dream, okay? I have a dream that one day Flame, the Flammy mommy, comes through, brother.
現在
She's so nice. And that's exactly what I was thinking, Seikao, is She only did it to protect one sapling, and it just kept growing and growing and growing and growing and growing, right? Which is interesting because I'm like, wouldn't that just mean that wherever green grow, like, that sapling grew, or maybe even the kids of the sapling grew, or whatever, that defensive layer just kept going, considering how big it is? If it was just for that sapling, of course, it's probably for more, but
それを
he
よ
doesn't
く
know
考えるといい
it. Oh, solid start. Oof. Oof. Let's remember, guys, he's the guy that can swing his axe and take down a dragon, and he can't cut rope. Think about that. He can swing an axe and bring down a dragon, but he can't cut rope. Magic rope. No, that's why I'm saying, like, the amount of everything that's coming through this is specifically with trials. It's not about being prepared enough to overcome certain trials. It's about trying. It's about trying and being happy that, like, even if, like, in just trying, and sometimes it might not work out. I'm just gonna be straight up with you. Sometimes we really, really, really want something in life, and we try 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 and we fail, and we try and we fail, and we try and we try again and again and again and again and again and again. We keep failing over and over and over again. And sometimes we might not succeed, but hey, at least you gave it a try. At least you actually tried to do something. You tried to overcome an adversary, and you learned throughout the process. But a lot of times people criticize you when you fail. A lot of times people don't even let you try again. A lot of times people make it a lot harder for you to, like, make you just full of shame when you fail, and it increases just everything.
わしの首
Man. Look at his shaking, bro.
脱獄したとも知らずに
What did he say?
あと今日お知り合い
What did he say? Are you serious right now, bro? Are you serious right now, bro? I can't escape this fucking rat. I can't escape this fucking rat. No matter where I go, it fucking follows, bro. Are you serious right now?
ブラの東京、お知り合いで。いや、昼間の冒険者の一人だ。こうどけ。
Oh, fuck.
邪魔をするなら殺すぞ。
Do it. Do it. Do it. I'd like to see you try.
やってみろよ。
Yeah. Oh.
斬新。
You know, some days I really think about the way that some wizarding activity rising. Some days I really think about the amount of thought that might go into some of these stories that are written, the way that the author thinks about these characters. That's amazing. Fucking amazing is all I have to say. Because this ain't me, brother. If the author didn't set this up nicely, your IQ is at least 200.
隙を作ったぜ。
Just wait until you meet her master. Just wait until you face off against her master, dude. Ordinary offensive magic. Bitch, I hit you with a basic punch. That's a basic magic. that ain't even fucking emperor level. This ain't no fucking Moshiko Tensei where I'm about to unleash the emperor level magic on you. You know, this is the ground floor. Oh. Run.
伯爵の怪我がひどい。
Even that is probably a strategy. Even that is probably a strategy. Saying this stuff out loud is probably a fucking strategy. And I'm kind of curious where this is going to go. This is amazing. It's amazing that they're showcasing it this way, right? Right. Bro, that even that like look, like that small look back says fucking everything, dude. Just that small little like look back, like like bitch, it's going down. It's going down. I'm yelling timber. Where's football where you need him? Like, dude, I would be terrified to know that these youngsters are able to do this much damage with a basic level spell, you know? That is oof. Oof. Oh, absolutely. And that's what I was saying, Kishi. Why would you announce your plans out loud like that unless you're leading them into a trap as well? Or waiting for something. It would have killed you. Oh, now you're remembering. Isn't that the same girl you had in your fucking in your little dungeon, sir? Isn't that the same little girl that you had in your dungeon, sir? Isn't this the same little girl that you were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go send someone to go kill? She slew more demons than anybody else in history. Sir? Sir? That's just a walking bomb here. She's got you're not worth stepping on. Yeah. Amazing. I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense why they would classify her like this, right? Because at the end of the day, she is fucking like a Grim Reaper. She is the Grim Reaper for him. Frieren the Goblin Slayer, phenomenal name. I don't know what where this is going to continue, as we might just see her massacre everything, but it's I don't know. I feel like she probably earned it from, of course, her massive killing of all the demons, but also Frieden's ability to just stay calm during all of these situations and try and think her way out of situations, amazing. What is coming up next episode? Are we about to see a full-on battle or a full-on massacre, if that case, right? Because these demons clearly still think that magic is preserved in one way, right? That it's very, very basic or rudimentary, but yet Frieren has kept evolving it and has evolved her spells to be extremely super effective against these people, including Frieren the Undertaker, Frieren who sent you to the grave. Ooh, that's amazing. Holy shit. All right, I'm going to go and put the ending on. Guys, what did this episode do to you? If you guys are on YouTube, you guys are here. What was this episode like for you? Out of 10, what would you guys rate it? Personally, I'm going to be straight up. I like this episode. This episode was really, really nice for me. And it feels as though it's a nice setup for what's to come. And it's been leading up again, right? Because we've had little like dips and valleys like this, but it's been leading up. And I feel like it's leading up to something fucking hype. Like it's been setting up all the traces of overcoming fears, overcoming instances of like just anger and emotion and so on and so forth. They overcame that laser magic long ago. We'll see if they really did. I really like this episode. As a manga reader, I really appreciated the small additions. Okay, so they added some small things then from the anime, from like from the manga. Then the Frieren at your funeral, oof, oof. It made me sad. I have to wait another week. It really does. For me, I like this episode. I give it like an 8.5, 8.75 out of 10 because it really had a lot of amazing elements to it. I kind of wonder where we're going to go. If we defeat this person, where are we heading to next? What is the bigger threat at hand here? Is the bigger threat time? Change? Is that what the bigger threat is? Or is it that there's constantly a new enemy? And at what point do you become the enemy itself? Not enough Himmel. I've been reading the manga. The anime is elevating it. Oh shit. Oh shit. Because I have an overwhelming advantage. I can kill you without mercy. I am beyond the moon for it, man. I'm beyond the fucking moon for it. So fucking excited for this, ladies and gentlemen. I love it, man. I'm loving this fucking series. I really, really am. And I'm enjoying it, and I really, really like talking about it at the level that we do, because there's some elements that we can break down, but there's also a lot of interesting and deep conversations that we can have with it. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for joining me. We have SP, of course, joining us in just a little bit whenever he gives us a call. But I will say, for me, fucking phenomenal, dude. I really like that this show is taking its time where it's going. It's not rushing us through it. It's being patient with us. It's allowing us to live, thrive, however you guys want to go ahead and call it, and take this for what it's worth. And that's what I'm enjoying it, you know? Hold on. I guess first off, anything good of the order? What do you say about that? Anything interesting that popped up in your feed this week as we touch into Frieren?
Frieren has just been so phenomenal. I just, the story is just always keeping the pace. Like there's always something really good next episode. And it kind of keeps you on a cliffhanger, especially like last episode when it was like the cellar and the guy walks in, you're like, and then it, concludes in the next episode. And now we got to see how she's going to deal with this demon individual that's leading this large crusade on this town. I honestly, I can't find any fault, because I was thinking to myself, I was like, what would I rate it out of 10? And I just keep going like 10. It's like 10 out of 10, because it's like I can't find any fault in it. I'm like, where can I find a specific area that it could be better? I'm like, pacing's perfect, voice acting's perfect, music, art, like the characters themselves. I'm attached to the characters. I'm interested to see how the demons kind of talk their way out of this. If they can, particularly with Frieren, they can't talk their way out of it because she just blows their head off. It's just so well done. And that's the one thing I loved when she like blew the guy's head off. I'm like, I'm so used to like the monologuing of enemies where they're like, oh no, please don't. Or then they do their whole little evil spill and then they somehow get away. It's just like, she's like, nope, boom, gone. She's just done. She doesn't care. And the only time she allows the conversation is when she's kind of probing them, like when she's hanging up from there. And it's just like, she's just hanging and the guy's just getting overly confident. She's like, you're not really got this, do you? And then just slices their hands off. I just think everything about the episode is just so well crafted, and like the human nature of it, like the soldier, like how he saw it as like she wouldn't kill a guard because she knows the repercussions of like, sure, she was about to take a swing at you, she was about to break the rules, but she's not stupid enough to kill her own allies.
Right.
So, but at the same time, he was an idiot going in there that unprepared. He should have maybe been a little bit more careful.
So one of my things is we're starting to see why Frieren got the name, why she was with the Heroes Party, right? Literally being named Frieren the Slayer. And for me, it's like this elevated Frieren scary status from, oh, cute little girl that knows a lot of magic to, holy shit, she really did just commit genocide with the demons, and she's about to do it again. She's like, want to see me do it again? Like in SpongeBob. Like, she's phenomenal in just a way that, like, she's able to go ahead and, like, keep her wits about her. And yes, she does have some, I guess, like, prior dispositions to characterizations, but it's what's kept her safe, and it's what worked for her in the past about keeping this knowledge stigma related to demons. And it turns out she was right. And I think that was interesting. It's like she trusted her hunch, and her hunch was right this time, that the demons hadn't changed.
I do think they will do some more backstory about why she is so cold. Like they showed like a small snippet, but I feel like the other episode, but I feel like they'll give more like context to some of the situations the hero and her, or the hero party and her, have come up against when it comes to demons, because this isn't her first rodeo dealing with specific people that are part of the demon army. And so clearly that, you know, she's got a name, and some people remember her, even though it's been a long time for some of these demons. They've kind of, you know, the face is kind of blurred to them, but now they kind of remember, oh, it's the same elf that's massacred her own people. And it's just like, okay, there's going to be some history in there, right? We're going to get some spicy flashbacks. I'm really excited to see all the pieces of the puzzle come together and be like, why is she the demon slayer? Which is like stealing the name from another anime.
Well, my thing is, I'm happy that they're exploring this, and I'm happy that we're seeing all of this being explored in its brutality, right? Because they're not hiding away from like him slicing off his limb and going after, like, choking him out or any of that. They're just showing the raw brutality of it and showcasing, like, hey, it is what it is. We're continuing on with it because these are the realities of this world. This is what they've had to go through. I'm excited just to see her explode. I'm not gonna lie to you. I kind of wanted to see her just wreck it, like unleash her powers for a bit and wreck shop. It's about time. It's about time. I also like the fact that she's smiling, and she's smiling more with the kiddos.
That's why, like, yeah, it's, well, she has that like evil, sinister grin, but that was the part when he's like asking her for help, and then she starts trying. I'm like, if those two don't get married by the end of the series, I'm rage quitting.
You're rage quitting.
I'm rage quitting. I'm rage quitting. If those two don't get married, they're too perfect.
I was gonna say, I can totally see it coming into that, and the way that they're just talking and like the little, like, you know, oh well, you do it, like the little back and forth is so nice, and it's refreshing to see that it's not just I'm head over heels in love with you. It's, hey, we're slowly building this out. Gone from like not talking to one another to kind of a maybe a friendship to like, hey, there's like little hints of like we're roasting one another and it's okay. Like, I love this progression.
Yeah, I love the pacing of that. It's a nice, steady progression of like romance building up. And for the person saying it's only season 1, I'm not saying they have to get together right now. I'm saying at the end of the story, like the conclusion, if they're not together and Freyren's not at that wedding, I'm rage quitting.
Well, my thing is,
even though by then the story would be finished, so then it would be too late to rage quit, but still I'll rage quit.
well, what I was bringing up is, what if her understanding or coming to terms with like them falling in love romantically at some point is Frieren starting to understand Himmel's feeling for her as well, and maybe the romantic gestures, because I feel like she could probably see a lot of herself in Fern and in like the way that they're communicating with one another. So I'm like, this would be interesting if it's a big mirror for Frieren herself and be like, hey, remember all those times where Himmel was doing this to you? Yeah, he actually liked you, you just kept like brushing it off.
Well, one of the things I noticed in the opening song, and it's my favorite part of the opening intro, is when they're out in the flowers, and she blows a kiss towards him, and he like does the whole faint, and you see the little love heart. I feel like that's like a hint that there was always like a little bit of fun play back and forth, but I don't think she realized what it was. Like she was just kind of playing along with it, and I feel like as she learns about their relationship that she's going along with now, she'll realize that clearly Himmel had something a little bit more deeper. And for the question in chat, I'm anime only.
Yeah, he's keeping up with us, man. Anime episode by episode with us, brother. But yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that like there was clearly a miscommunication with that, and they might have been flirting or even because I think even if Himmel proposed to her, right, say if they builds up this huge relationship and a play fighting and whatnot, I think that Frieren probably would have taken that as a joke. And even if she said, yeah, I'll, like, you know, and I'll keep this promise as soon as I remember or whatever, right, as a joke. And Himmel took it seriously because Himmel grew of old age, and it didn't seem like he had a partner. It didn't seem like he had anything, and he kept like all the precious items. So I think that there might have been some miscommunication or broken promise or something along those lines that we might yet to see.
I came up with this insane theory. I don't think it will happen, but it's this insane cool headcanon theory that she learns time travel.
Oh, okay.
She goes back. Yeah, I don't think this will happen, but I'm just like, this is my headcanon of what I'd love to see. She learns time travel as like one of her final spells at the end of this like major adventure. She goes back and then spends a large portion of her time with Himmel because she's not there with Himmel at all, but she could always go back and spend that part and then leave when she knows she's going to reappear in that timeline, and then basically Himmel just is like plays dumb.
You know, that would be fucking insane. The more that I think about it,
I think that'd be so cool.
Because it's like, if he did, if some kind of like magic ended up happening like that, oof, like it would be interesting because at the end of the day, she only came around for the 50-year meteor shower after the party ended.
She was gone the whole time, which leaves a massive window for her to just rock up in a time period and just spend it with Himmel and actually have that meaningful relationship, and then just back off when he gets too old, when she's finally going to rock up. She could literally just leave the day beforehand and be like, all right, see ya.
Right. Leave the day beforehand. All right, you gotta go through this with her. Oh, that'd be interesting. That would be interesting. I
I
think
don't think it will happen, but it's just a headcanon. It's just like, what if?
I think this series is gonna end up sad, in like a bittersweet way, not in like I'm
That's how I
devastated.
think it will end.
Yeah, but in a like that. Okay, that's an appropriate ending, and it hurts, but it's something that we all have to go through, type of thing. And I think it might be Frieden just saying, like, actually processing and saying goodbye finally to not just like the heroes party that she went with, but also with this new party that she formed. I have a weird feeling that is probably going to end up both ways, where the new party is growing old, they're together, they're trying to live their own life now, and now she's back alone again, but this time with like a changed perspective. Kind of hoping it goes that
Yeah,
way. It's bittersweet because that's how
that's how
life
I think it
is.
will go.
Yeah.
I think it will end exactly like that. I've just had my own headcanon of like a what if she did that, kind of pulled off a little stunt, and it just be Himmel just playing like the innocent act when she rocks up and be like, "Oh, you're so cruel to me. You didn't see me for those 50 years." And then in reality, it's like she's been there the whole time.
He's been getting it on for the past 50 years with another version of her. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. What color would red and purple make, though? I don't know. What color would red and purple make? I should know. I had to do color theory, but I just
A
go.
darker purple. I don't know. Terrible colors.
But through this, I guess comes in the next question, which is, during that time period, if you were isekai into that world, do you think you would be comfortable? We touched on it a little bit, or I touched on it a little bit during this analysis. But would you feel comfortable being in an isekai around this time?
Depends on the specific isekai and the mechanics in it, but specifically the Frieren world would be challenging because I feel like magic in this world is a little bit more. It takes a lot more time to learn, a lot more to master, and be like, if you isekai, would you isekai when you're like a reincarnation isekai, or would it be like, hey, you reincarnated in your mid-30s or 40s and stuff, and then you'd be like, okay, you're kind of just in that world, but you've kind of got to adapt. It'd be really difficult to adapt if you're much older. If it was a reincarnation, then you'd have time to learn magic and use that knowledge to your advantage. So it depends. I feel like if it was reincarnation, yes.
Mm-hmm.
If I was in my mid-30s or 40s, I'd be like, yeah, no.
Would you ever feel like, knowing what you know in a previous life, let's go with reincarnation, would you get adjusted, and I brought this up like in that thing as well, to even like the toilet system or the hygiene system that worlds like this might have?
Not with my body currently, no. But if I had a good human body that was functional, maybe I could adapt. Be challenging.
A bit challenging, yeah. Even I'm thinking, even with my body, I'm like, I would find it challenging to adapt to it, because the luxuries and the comfort that our brain knows would no longer be there. And that's like,
I think about it a lot, but then I realize I can't be isekai with this current body because of the defects with it.
right, some of the challenges that
So
you have to deal with on the daily. Yeah.
yeah,
And how
because
is that?
technically I don't have a bottom. For those that were curious about my surgery, I don't have a bottom.
Right.
It's sewed up, so it comes out of a hole in my side, and I have a special bag. So if I was reincarnated, it wouldn't work. Or not reincarnated, or teleported, it wouldn't work. If I was reincarnated, then it would work, because then I'd have a new body, which would be cool.
I mean, that would be pretty amazing. That'd be pretty awesome, reincarnation.
I'd love a new body.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd dig a reincarnation. New body, fresh beginning. It'd be like, yeah.
So my question for you, and slightly moving on to a different topic here, is how do you feel about all of these new experts. I'm not even going to say experts because some of them are claiming to be students or whatnot coming onto the analysis field, trying to be anti-tubers, reactors, so on and so forth. Like, what are your thoughts on all of this? Of course, with the paywall content that I started off this whole episode with.
I feel like, it's always good to see new content creators enter the sphere with interesting new ideas and how they approach content. But I do feel like some kind of just copy the same formula identically, but then kind of get a bit of a chip on their shoulder. Because I remember when I first started content creation, there was a lot of copycats, which there's nothing wrong with taking inspiration, but there's also a difference between taking inspiration and just completely copying the entire formula, right down to thumbnail, titles, editing, the way they talk. Like I've seen a couple that try and do that. I'm personally not the biggest fan of locking content behind Patreon. I get it to a point. I'm just not a fan of it. I prefer Patreon being something that's like, okay, you go there to support the content creator. Like you could maybe lock a Discord behind or a Discord rank, that kind of thing. But I'm not the biggest fan of locking specific content behind it. It also depends on the type of content though too. I mean, if it's like a couple of days early kind of content, if it's real high production kind of stuff, there's a couple of content creators I know that do like high production research and they're like, hey, I'll give you the content like a week early. That I'm kind of like, yeah, that's fine. But there's like some stuff that's like very heavily like, it pulls into the question of fair use. And I know that will trigger some people, but it's like, it just doesn't sit right with me personally.
Yeah.
When it comes to fair use, because I feel like fair use gets exploited way too much on YouTube. And it's going to have a point where it's going to snap and there are going to be publishers and studios and record labels that are going to come hammering down on YouTube and on Patreon and every other social media platform, and they're going to tear it apart piece by piece because they have a legal standing. And Japan's laws are much more harsher on fair use. I mean, you only have to look at, it was a One Piece content creator, and people said he followed fair use, and Japan went hammer and tongs, or one of the studios did for One Piece, went hammer and tongs after him. Some of these content creators are nowhere near fair use, and I'm just like,
yeah. And for me, it's scary. It's scary because it feels like it's a growing trend for people. And I'm just talking about like the reactor side, at least from what I've seen, where people literally doing emoji faces. Like, yes, we can get something out of it. I'm never gonna shoot that down. But I feel like, if you ask yourself the question, is it transformative enough? That's where that comes in. Are you doing minute by minute, even if you truncate it down to 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the show, if you're not adding any form of actual discussion, not summarizing, but actual discussion to the show, or psychoeducation or any form of education to it, is that fair use? And I think that's where that, like, it's a tricky line for a lot of people. And oftentimes, let's be honest, some people just show the entire episode, no filter, no nothing. Even here on Twitch, and people do that all the time. And it's like, that's not fair use, brother. At that point, you're straight up showing the episode without the context of like adding discussion or adding anything to it, you know?
Yeah, there's been a lot of arguments from content creators kind of calling out the whole reactionary kind of scene, especially when it comes to Twitch, because there are some content creators that will be like, hey, I'm going to the toilet or something, I'm going to grab something to eat, and then they just throw like someone else's content up on the screen and then walk away, and then it gets put on their YouTube channel, and it's like, that's not fair use. That's just pure play. You're just copy pasting with your background, and then it's like,
well, through this,
that's just bad.
I guess an issue that I have, and this is not me calling out anybody else out there, if you're doing this, heads up, I guess. If you are not a professional and you're in a field, a professional field, a medical field, at least like in my field, you have to have a master's degree or higher to be able to even talk about some of these topics. If you're barely getting your bachelor's degree, please, for the love of God, I'm saying this because the spread of misinformation can be high. Think about what you're going to say, especially if you're not an expert in the field, you don't have a license, or if you're not an actual, going for your doctorates at the moment. Please think about what you're going to say, because anything you say can be misconstrued and can actually be thrown out in such a way that it's toxic. And if you have any internal biases that come out, it like, if even for some shows, if you're like, oh, well, this show's only for pedos, guess what? Now, because you put a title on it, everyone's gonna come through and think that like anybody that watches that show might be that. And it's like, for me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, I'm seeing a wave of like, oh, doctor does, like, you know, soon to be doctor, or bachelor level student in this, or associates level student in this does this. It's like, okay, you're not there yet. You're learning. You could just say reactor does this, but careful, because anything you say can be misconstrued as actual advice from not actually having that profession just yet, or not actually having the degrees to be called a professional just yet.
It's a big issue that started on TikTok, which is what I call the fake professionals.
Right.
And it's kind of seeped into YouTube now, because YouTube ends up always collecting other platforms' content that ends up being made. And yeah, I see a lot of it on a lot of the time. Like, I remember one video a couple of years back where someone was going on about safety procedures on a plane, and an actual pilot had to make a video and saying, do not listen to this person. This person is telling you to do something highly dangerous that could not just kill yourself, but other people around you. And that's one of the things that concerns me is, and this is why I like Twitter/X's community notes, because there is too many times where people, whether deliberate or not, or just accidental, say things that are just incorrect. And that's why I think it is really, really important that we do not surround ourselves by echo chambers. And I bring that up specifically because I saw one comment from a content creator basically saying, I don't like the idea of people correcting and I don't do it myself. And I'm like, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to criticize people, and it's not, you don't have to be toxic about it. Like, if you criticize someone, you be civil, you be kind, you say, hey, you've done this wrong. This is how you correct it. Just don't be a douche. It's that simple. The one rule of criticism, don't be a douche. But surrounding yourself by an echo chamber is highly dangerous. And I think that's a big problem content creators are running into, is that, and I understand why they're getting very defensive, because there are a lot of people that are very toxic, and toxicity breeds content, and content is money. So I get why people do it. There's something I'd love to see YouTube do, which they won't ever do, is a community notes.
That would be amazing.
Because it is very helpful. Yeah. There's so many times I've seen a tweet and I'm just like, oh, is this true? And then a community notes, I actually know there's context to this. I'm like, oh, that's good to know. I think that's helped a lot. But man, YouTube still has a big problem. And I mean, that was where downvotes were useful, because a downvote would be like, okay, this has got a high ratio of a downvote. Clearly something's up, but YouTube's phasing that out. So it's like, how do you know something is correct? You go into the comments. Well, that can be filtered. Any content creator can just put you in the review section or ban you. It's too easy to filter. And so I think there are too many proclaimed experts.
Eidolon, honestly, as someone studying to become a scientist, nothing makes me feel more uncomfortable than saying, as a scientist, because I feel like I still don't have the knowledge needed to call myself one. I can't imagine people claiming these things very far into the degree because of their Dunning-Kruger effect. Eidolon, you'd be surprised. You would be extremely surprised. The reason why I'm saying this is because even currently on YouTube, if you type in therapist or psychologist, and you see a lot of these individuals are barely getting their bachelor's or associates, or some of them just are about to get their master's degree, which wonderful if they are, like, all the credits to them, because getting your master's degree, it's a big step into full on becoming, you know, a therapist, getting their licensure, becoming a psychologist in some states. It's a big process. But like, if you have an undergrad degree and lower, especially when it comes to the field of psychology, or for a lot of doctoral fields, like actual like medicinal programs, it is such a tricky path to walk through, because you like, anything that you say, like, for example, I know I talk a lot about power dynamics and stuff like that in a silly way, but I'm still saying it in a way that is appropriate, that you can take into real life and be like, okay, that's a power dynamic issue here, right? Or like all the concepts that we talk about, yeah, we talk about them in silly ways and sometimes over the top, melodramatic, whatever you guys want to go ahead and call it, but there's still applicable concepts that, for example, I can go to a university and talk to, and people would pass their classes the same way some people in their bachelor's and master's level classes have come on and said, hey, you know what, your videos were actually all correct when it comes to tests. But when it comes to an undergraduate level, like, individual coming through and being like, hey, this is my advice for this, all of a sudden, nope, you know, because they in undergrad, you barely learn the basics as you would do in the master's or doctoral level programs. And that's why I will always highlight that, like, if Brady's a therapist. Brady did his master's degree with me. He's fully on doing everything. I have my, like, you know, I'm doing my doctoral work right now, A+ on all of that. That's how you know, like, these individuals, like, if they can prove what they say and they mean what they say, and you like it's verifiable, it's all worth it. But they have to have that knowledge. And that's the number one thing through that, is they have to have some sort of a knowledge. And this goes for other doctors out there, whether it comes to doctors of philosophy, right? Phenomenal individuals. You could probably get a lot of those general doctors, so on and so forth. Like, anyone that's a practitioner has to have a higher level education. It can't just be someone with like an associate's degree. Need to go into that, just because there's a lot of people that are calling themselves doctors, and it's like they don't have that doctor degree and they just started on their journey. Like, they're getting their associates, and you're like, dude, come on. Like, no.
I found it it's too easy for someone to claim that they are something that they're not. So I always try to look at like how knowledgeable they are, how well they are at presenting the information, like how you go through an episode and you break things down thoroughly, you show the graphs, you explain it in detail, and not just say, hey, this is the thing you should think because I'm a doctor or I'm a psychologist or I'm an expert. It's like, okay, explain to me as if I'm an idiot. And you explain things very well as someone if I was like an idiot and don't understand that. And that's why I saw some people debating about, is Ed a reactionary channel? And this is being blunt and honest. In my view, I do not see Ed's content as reactionary. I see it as analytical and an analysis and deep dive. But YouTube would not see that the same way, just because of how YouTube is very... There's no like shades of gray. It's just black or white. It's just you are or you aren't. And a lot of the times they'll see it as you're not. And I think a lot of studios would strike Ed's content saying it's reactionary and that it's just plagiarism. But as far as US fair laws go, full on fair use. It's 100%, because you got to look at what he's doing to the content. He's pausing, he's analyzing, he's breaking down, chatting with the chat, you know, bringing information, going, hey, this is what chat wants to ask. It's constant. It takes a 24-minute episode and it breaks it down into many hours. Reactionary channels just clip a bunch of faces and a bunch of exploration, like, oh my God, the person walked down the hall. That's reactionary. And again, I understand why people make that content. It's just not for me personally, but I get why they make it. But you can't sit there and scream it's fair use, because honestly, it's not. In a court of law, it's really not. But again, fair use is a very, very weird situation. Like in the US, you can get away with a lot more. In Japan, not so much. I've gotten claims over showing a poster of an anime.
Yeah. And that's why I bring it up. Like, even for myself, I see myself as a blend of psychoeducational and at times reaction, because let's be honest, sometimes the hype moments are fucking hype. And when it comes to moments like that, it's like, if you get something out of it, it's a psychoeducational opportunity of learning about self, whether through Frieren or laughing about like, oh, this is what, like, you know, a person with extreme sociopathy might look like with, you know, with some of the regards towards Sid and like our eminence in the shadow, or so on and so forth. Like, we have moments where we can genuinely laugh and have a good time in the discussion over these characters, but we're not just making faces 24/7. We're not just breaking it down. This is no hate towards anyone out there that does this. You do you get that bag however you want to get that bag. But there's a big difference in between, like, hey, you know what, we're going to take this 22-minute episode and do, for every minute that is shown, we're doing 4 to 5 minutes of content of actual talking about like the content in it, versus some others that like, hey, we're going to break this show down to 10 minutes and it's going to be 10 minutes of me just doing faces to it and then a 30-second discussion, and that's it. That's game. That is a wild difference.
That's the only thing I don't like about the reactionary community, is some of the content creators, I'm not saying all, but some of the content creators think their content is very transformative when it's really not. And it's like, just be honest with the content. No one's blaming you for wanting to get that bag. If that's how you want to do it, do it. There's people that like that content, that's fine. But don't pull over the wall. Don't sit there and lie to yourself. Don't lie to me. It's not that transformative. Doing a bunch of faces, explaining what happens in an episode, that ain't transformative to me. It's like, yeah, no. Even if you want to clip like parts of it out where there's the boring parts, it's like, let's be honest here, most people go to your content to pirate the episode. They're not there for the informative opinion, because I've seen so many content creators that are in the reactionary space say, hey, look at my views, and my retention drops right when the episode ends, and that's when they're having the actual proper discussion where it is transformative, and that's when the views just disappear. So it's clear people just come for the episode.
Right. But through that, though, I will say some people on here, it's significantly harder. And I always love pointing that out. And this is why I like people on YouTube get mad at me because they're like, what do you mean this isn't for YouTube? I'm like, I don't have time to upload it. I do it on Twitch because I hate to put it this way. It's a live discussion. It's a panel of going back and forth with chat, with you, with so on and so forth. It's a live thought process. On YouTube, yeah, stuff goes up, but people fast forward to like the signs and paces that they want to go ahead and see for most reaction videos of like, oh, I really liked it when Frieren fell, or where there was this panty shot in Eminence in the Shadow or whatever. And people will go ahead and forward to those spots, watch it, and they'll be like, okay, and I'm done. And they like, you start seeing those drop offs there for some of these channels and whatnot. It is what it is. It is what it is. But it's one thing for people to, because even for my thing, I say like mind psychoeducational, but transformative means completely creating something, bringing something new or unique to it, right? I think the psychoeducational portions that I bring to it are amazing. They're great. And I'm still trying to find ways to bring in more aspects into it. However, there's moments where it doesn't fall into completely transformative, and that I can completely acknowledge. I don't mind like saying that, but there are people out there who, again, they'll just fall into, no, it's completely transformative. Don't you see the enjoyment? They'll relate to views, they'll relate to people comments and whatnot, and they'll see that is transformative in of itself. Or reading comments at the beginning of a video makes the entire video transformative. I don't know about that. I don't think that that's transformative if you're just reading the comments that someone left on a previous video.
Agreed.
Oh God, chat.
Just checking chat. Chat's lighting up like a Christmas tree.
Oh yeah. But that's my thing. And
But
that's
yeah,
why
it reminds me of Class from the Elite, because that was when it was a big series, and that has like a lot of moments in it where they like people will go to reactionary channel, just watch for one specific part of an episode, and then they're looking for that one reaction where someone like goes, oh my God, and then they click off of it. And I'm like, I don't know, I get why people would like that kind of content. I just personally don't really understand the super appeal, because all it is just you're basically looking to see someone be shocked or give it like an over-the-top reaction about it. It just, to me, I'm just like, I don't know. I'd rather someone analyze it, someone give their own opinion and be like, hey, this is what I think of it. This is why I think the way. That's why I try to make my content the way I would enjoy the content.
right.
But I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, why don't you add clips in it and stuff? I'm like, dude, I've dealt with enough fair use problems. I get like claims for posters. I ain't dealing with clipping. I mean, if I was like maybe gigant size and I had like my own little team or something, maybe. But I'm like, YouTube is a very, very, very weird and faulty system.
So actually, here's an interesting thought process, or an interesting process at all. Now that I'm thinking about it, for those reaction channels that you mentioned, I wonder how they would do on Twitch, like live, because I do wonder about this often, which is how much of those, like, and this ain't calling anyone out, by the way, this is just my thought process, of those reactions are edited. How many times did they have to stop and like, because you can fix that in just right to get the right moment, to get the right reaction that you want, so on and so forth. Because if you don't have a live audience, a live individuals that like can keep track of you, or like, you know what, this was done live, there's no way, shape, or form for people to manipulate it. How much do you think that like a person be like, oh my God, because even live, my energy drains, y'all can see this, my energy goes up and down and up and down, and we're going through ups and downs. Some of these videos that I'm looking at, they just stay all the way up high, like throughout the entirety of the video, and I'm like, that's really unrealistic. Like, my energy drops like, after like hitting some highs, I'm like, whoa. But some of these people just stay up the entire time, and you're like, whoa. I don't know if you'd agree with me.
One of the things that I do notice, yeah, I do actually agree. One of the things I noticed with some reactionary channels is you can tell they're trying to come up with something to say on the spot. And I noticed that when I was doing a bit of research on your videos, your reaction analysis, but I mean, they still get titled as reaction either way. But I was going through them and I was reading some of the comments that were getting put under some like your Reddit stuff, and a lot of it was just complaining that the video was too long or the stream was too long. Apparently, you interact with the chat too much. It's kind of funny, which I think is actually good because yours is unique. Yours is live, so yours is much more reactionary in the sense of reading what chat is saying and then reacting to what they're saying and then adding input and information as they ask things while also giving insight as the episode's gone. So it's a double layer of your insight and then questions added on as a layer. And I think that makes the content much more unique in that sense. But one of the things I noticed, because I was looking through it and I saw someone that they were self-plugging their reactionary content on one of the subreddits. And I watched the video and I noticed when some people do the reactions, they constantly look at the camera when they're watching the episode, and they look and then they panic and then they sit there and they look and they go, oh, I need to say something. So they say the most like defaulted thing that they can go. And I saw one of the minutes in the shadow and the person's like, oh, wow, he's really overpowered. And I'm like, did you discover that in this episode or like 10 episodes later? Because I think we all knew he was overpowered, but I noticed they were like saying the most defaulted things, and then they were scratching their face, and you could tell they were like thinking like shit, what have I got to say? I've got to say something, I've got to give a reaction. Right. And that was the one sign where I could tell that they're not really watching the show. They're just trying to say something to just overlap it and be like, look, I'm reacting to something. And it just, that's where I sat there and went to myself, this is why I'm not the biggest fan of that content. Like, again, if you like the content, that's fine. But I'm like, I can see that they're forcing themselves to give a response. It's like, just don't. Like, right. If I gave a reaction to an episode, it'd be the most boring thing you'd ever watch. Because my honest reaction would be me sitting there going like this.
Oh, Fox Girl appeared. Oh, there we go. Oh.
Yep, there's the Fox Girl part. But yeah, that's about as entertaining. I mean, that might be entertaining, but that's. I think that's going to get clipped now, and everyone's going to be like, "Oh, that's the Fox Girl." If you want to call me a porn addict, chat,
feel free. I'm
a porn addict. I love Fox Girls. If you give me some foxy stuff, I'll do what a man needs to do.
Something I've learned is those that keep it real, even with the degen stuff, are some of the chillest people that you can meet, like in person. Because there's a lot of people out there that demonize like all the degen stuff, and they're like, oh, they're creeps, or this, it's that, or whatever. And it's like, come on, dude, just learn to accept it, be open to like whatever's going on. And also for the criticisms, it's a live stream. I don't know what the fuck they expect. I was about to say that's one criticism I've constantly faced. It's people like, why don't you edit this down for YouTube? Because it wasn't made for YouTube. It was made for Twitch. And a big portion of that is you have a live chat that you should be talking to, interacting with. And sometimes they get fucking phenomenal points that completely blow my mind. And I'm like, ooh, I didn't consider that. And I stop, I think about it, I agree with it, or I disagree with it, and I say my reasons why, and we continue. But for some people, they get fucking triggered the moment that happens. Like the moment that like I'm looking around, I'm like, that's actually a really interesting point, and they lose their fucking shit. They lose their shit if a video is over 2 hours long. But if it's under an hour, it's like, oh, you're not doing fair use. Give or take, there's always people out there that are going to criticize and not like something, because for them, it's like, my biggest thing is, okay, if you have a doctoral degree, do it yourself. Get on and do it. See how easy it is in a live environment to keep all of this up, which I have a feeling majority wouldn't be able to keep up. And a majority of the channels out there that are, putting it out there on YouTube, that's sort of why they don't do Twitch, because I feel like there might be a little bit more to the veil than what really meets the eye, and they can't give you 22 minutes of just pure emoji reaction or pure, oh my fucking God, he really just put on those panties. Wow, he's so overpowered, or whatever NPC comments that is. Because guess what? It's a lot of pressure keeping chat alive, keeping up to the stream, thinking about what to say, analyzing what's coming forward. It's a lot of different pressures that are coming through, making sure the stream doesn't fall apart, as opposed to you're watching one thing and you're making sure you hit record. Different pressure, guys. Different pressure altogether.
It is. Streaming takes a lot of energy to try and keep chat going. But I will say I don't like some streamers that sit there and be like, oh yeah, just put someone else's content there and then walk away. It's like, no, just do a be right back screen. I get that you'll lose, some of your viewers, but don't steal someone else's content. It's like, XQC, you know we're all thinking of you as we say that, okay? Like, I ain't scared of your fan base. I've dealt with it before.
Oh gosh.
I've dealt with a couple of his fans come after me when I've criticized the whole phase because, as I said, it's like a rubber band. It's going to get to a point where these studios and labels are going to get really fed up with their content being stolen. I don't want another ad apocalypse, please, guys. I don't make enough on YouTube as it is, and I need that money.
Yeah.
I'm a broke man. So it's like, don't create another ad apocalypse. We're still recovering from the first and the second one. So,
but through that, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're reaching the end here because I got to start working on my final. I have this class coming up, and this week is my final week for that class, and then I start a new class, another 6 weeks. Yay! SB, any final words? Give us a good words of encouragement here because we got into a deep topic there.
Fox Girl is yummy, 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 mummy, dummy, nummy, yummy. Give me a figure of her, please. I'll buy it. God.
Oh my God. I will say this, chat, please drop some good Fox Girl sauce on the fucking Discord, please. I need some good reading material. I need some good viewing material. I need some good everything, ladies and gentlemen. Just drop it there. And also, guys, please follow SB, show that love and support. I appreciate y'all for coming out tonight.